Hi, I'm Philippa from Nurtured Fitness, and today I'm going to show you how to use your Manduca and soft structured carrier for carrying a newborn. The Manduca itself does come with a built-in insert, and they also sell another little gadget called a Size-it. So if you're going to use either of these, what you need to do is unzip that back panel, because you're going to lose a little bit of length through the back doing either of these methods, so that your baby's got nice high neck support. With the built-in insert, it's a nice cool one. Your baby will essentially sit inside the carrier, and this will come up and clip in sort of like a little nappy. However, what Manduca are suggesting and recommending now is a little gadget called a Size-it, where we don't use this at all. We can tuck that back in under there. But we're going to just cinch in the waist so your baby gets knee-to-knee support. So the reason we're doing this at all is when you get a newborn, if you were to put them straight into the carrier, their legs aren't very long to start off with. So if you put them in directly, their legs would stretch out and then put a lot of pressure on their legs. So all we need to do is pull on the waist a little bit and measure that distance between their two knees. Now that's going to be optimal positioning, because they're still going to be in that M-shaped position where their knees are in line with their belly button, and that's the most relaxed position for your baby to be in, and optimal angle for their hips to grow. I prefer this method over top of using the actual insert, just because it gives me a little more security. The baby feels more snug, and their feet are always out, so you can always check their circulation on their feet, make sure that there's no pressure points, that they're not getting pins and needles, or their feet aren't going purple. So Manduca, the Size-it's great because it's got a nice little bit of padding. Because we're cinching it, it gets a little bit of wrinkles across it, and then it just clips around the back, and you'll just slowly let it out. Keep letting it out as they grow until they're at perfect knee-to-knee support for the carrier. And that really just depends on how fast your baby's legs grow. And this is just a great temporary fix until you don't need to use it at all. So the way it works, I like to put it under the elastic here because it just stops it shifting. And this baby here, we're just going to cinch it in touch because we only want the width of the carrier to be approximately that much there. Make sure the buckle goes on the outside. Put it in. Cool. And that's just instantly reduced the width of our carrier. So we just put it on as per usual. Navel's going to come on our tummy, nice and high, so our baby's close enough to kiss. Under the safety elastic. Put it in. Tighten up, make sure that waistband panel is nice and flat against your stomach. And before we put our baby in, just kind of create a little pocket there for your baby to sit in. And then we grab our baby. So always one hand on the back. Gently going to separate their legs. Their bottom is just going to sit right at the top of that carrier there. And into that little pocket we've created is where the bottom goes. Right, always one hand on the back, bring up that back panel nice and smooth, then thread your arms through one at a time. We go here, doing up your back panel, so elbows up, reaching behind, tighten if you need to, then bring your baby in nice and close and tighten underneath here. So typically if you're cinching in the waist, you'll also need to tighten up here because this is for really small babies. So then you can pull in here so it's nice and tight and secure. When you move, your baby should move with you. I always like nice and firm because especially small babies, they don't have great muscle control. And once they fall asleep, their muscles are going to relax even more. So if it's already loose and then they fall asleep and slump down, that's when their chin can come down on their chest and block airways. So up nice and close, head turn to the side so they can breathe, and you're good to go. So taking off is just the opposite. We're going to reach under here, we'll loosen off, grab that back foot, one hand on baby's back, and transferring it down. And as your baby grows, you can just keep loosening it off a little bit more, until they don't need it. So maybe around 3 or 4 months. Great, I hope you enjoy your Manduca.